Hey, everybody, it's Michael Whalen, and this is the Artist Expansion Podcast. This is episode number 21. Okay, so today we are going to talk about something. Okay, this is the generational part of the record business. I think for people under the age of 40, maybe 45 and younger, they don't have any of these problems. But for people my age, I'm going to be 60 this year, and, kind of around 50s, 60s, maybe almost 70. We grew up at a time in the 80s and the 90s where release day of an album was everything, and you got on the starting line and you sprinted real hard and you did stuff. It takes way longer now to release an album than it did 30 years ago. Because what used to happen was you would do some preparation before an album went out in the 90s, but a lot of it was, did radio pick it up? And do you have any traction? And then based on that, you were running to catch up with the interest that there already was in your project. That's not how you do it now. Now, you're creating events, you're creating conversations, you're creating a narrative around you and what you're doing. But one of the real kind of successful ways to release an album now is something called a waterfall release. Okay, here's the basics. You don't have to drop the entire album all at once on release day. You don't. I work in instrumental music and I work in new age music. It's slightly different. I think there's an expectation where people are like, oh, I like this song. Where's the rest of it? But I think for pop music, jazz, sort of, certainly for rap and R&B, this absolutely applies the same way, but definitely for pop, you want to be seeding the ground months before. And Ed Sheeran, who I have an enormous amount of respect for, great writer, great performer, great live performer. I mean, and it's more than like, him with a looper and a guitar and whatever. I mean, he's a real talented guy. So he has this new album, Play, and it's terrific. The extended version has 18 tracks. Whoa. But they're great. I think from track to track to track, the album is incredibly consistent, and he's done a great job. And really, hats off to him and his whole team at Warner. They do a great job. They really do. But the point that I wanted to bring up to you guys is Ed Sheeran is top 5 pop stars in the world at this point. Ed spent, brace yourself, 6 months getting ready for release day. 6 months. And you're going to say, oh, well, I don't have patience for that, and I don't want to do that, and that's a lot of work. Okay, fine. Then you should just turn off the video now. But if you have any interest in seeing a strategy which has worked for a lot of people, including Ed, and is working for people all the time. I mean, even like Taylor Swift and like other really big artists are using waterfall release strategies in a way that are, well, we'll get into it. Play is the album, came out. This is September 2025. Just, yes, I'm going to date this video, but it's important. The dates are important. So the first single was Azim, which is a great song. And by the way, I'm not going to use any drops of any of the songs or whatever, because I really have no interest in getting in trouble with Warner Music and getting into all that copyright stuff. So I'm going to say stuff. And if you want to watch this video and have your phone and like listen to the song while I'm talking, that would be smart. Anyway, so back in April, he released the first single. I love this song. I think it's got a really cool vibe to it. It has like a kind of a global kind of thing, and is, the percussion is cool and whatever. But the way he released it was really fascinating because he kind of created an entire world around the song. And when the song came out, he released a vinyl version and remixes, and he had at least 2, maybe 3 versions of the actual music video. So he had like a full up one, and then he had kind of like a lyric one. It was really well done. But there was no indication at all that this was single number one of his album, which was coming way down the line. So you might say, okay, well, I don't understand. Like, so this is effective because why? Because he created a narrative about the song. He created a world around the song. He got you used to the song. And what I think a lot of artists discover is that it's very hard to have the audience absorb really more than one, maybe two songs at a time. One song at a time. We live in a one song at a time kind of world. Like, people are so busy and they're so crazy that they don't have time to do anything else. Okay. So Azim comes out. It's terrific. 4 weeks later, May, he drops the single for Old Phone. And you guys know the backstory of this? Like, he's going through a box and he finds an old cell phone and he powers it up and it's got like all these messages and all this like content from like 10, 15 years ago. And basically it becomes like a time capsule. And it's a great song. It's a great song idea. And he even starts an Instagram about the song and time capsules and, and finding other, stuff and like, what does that all mean? And like, what happens with life? It becomes very sort of existential. Again, he creates an entire world around the song. It's just brilliant. Then 4 weeks later, right? Are you getting a sense here? So single, 4 weeks, single, 4 weeks, single, third video. He drops Sapphire, which is a great song. I love this song, with Arjit Singh, who is, if not the biggest, definitely one of the biggest artists in India. I mean, just hugely popular person. And the thing that was really interesting is that he was in India. He shot the video in India. It has Punjabi lyrics in it, and it's really, the video is really cool. Like, I highly recommend you check it out because the production is terrific. But for those of us who are in America or, in the EU or whatever, he takes you to India. And it's, again, he creates a world. He creates an entire narrative around the song. So let me stop my discourse here for a second and just sort of step out here for a second. Okay. I understand that you don't have any money, the wherewithal to go do a lot of this stuff. Got it. So that means you're going to have better ideas, and you're going to have to shoot it in a clever way that doesn't cost you any money. So, you don't have $1 million like Ed Sheeran to take, some like Academy Award nominated, DP, like out into the field and like shoot you. You don't have that. I got it. But that doesn't mean you can't shoot something really good on your phone. Or the camera that I'm using, this old GoPro, I think I could buy this used now for about $150. So you really want to look at, how are you putting barriers in your way that prevent you from even hearing this strategy? Because I'm telling you all this stuff and you're like, oh, this is too much work. I don't know how to edit. I don't know anything about video. How am I going to do this? I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I got it. Be clever. Okay. So we got 3 singles so far. Sapphire is a great song. Highly recommend it. So now he goes from 4 weeks to 8 weeks, and we go to August, and he does another video, not quite a single, not like the first 3, but he does another song called A Little More. But the thing that was really interesting about the video is it featured a lot of known people. It had a lot of actors in it, and it became kind of a whole thing. And so, again, completely different execution than the first 3 videos. He's kind of like, hey, I'm a celeb. I know all these people. Hey, they're all going to come and be in my video. Hey, this is going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. Here we go. Okay. So you want to look at, how can I be creating something that's unique about where I live, how I live, who I know? What stories can I be telling? Location is so compelling because people love this idea that they can be a fly on the wall and they can kind of look in on somebody's life. Give them that opportunity in your content. Okay. And then finally, in September, the album Play arrives. He really turns up the volume because he releases, wait for it, a 5th video for the song Camera, which is, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song, love song. I mean, you know, I'm sure his wife loves all these songs that he writes about her. It just beautiful. But it gave the release a huge boost. I mean, it's a terrific song. It's very hooky. It's very beautiful, whatever. But again, he creates a whole world around the song with the album release. It's something that's very personal, something that's very important to him. Okay. Discipline. Focus. You really want to say, okay, yeah, this album is basically done, but I'm going to hold this back for 6 or 9 months, and I'm going to fertilize the ground. I'm going to seed the ground, like we were saying, in such a way where people are actually excited about hearing the album. Why? We're going to get to that. Second, like I said, every single song as part of the Waterfall had its own story. It had its own narrative. So we have talked on this podcast about the importance of narrative. We have talked about the importance of sharing. Don't tell me something. Share it with me. So what Ed Sheeran did was he created an opportunity to share a whole bunch of things about his wife, about traveling to India, about finding his old cell phone, just like little stories, like little anecdotes that give you like a little thin slice of what's going on with this guy, but it's not super personal. It's intimate, but it's not super personal, which is something that when I'm working with people, I'm always trying to distinguish because people are always afraid of, oh, well, I don't want to tell all my personal stuff. Got it. But are you willing to share something that's intimate, which is going to help expand your narrative, especially if it's about what inspired the music? What inspired the music? Like, that should be 98% of your social media. This inspired the music, and this inspired the music. Oh, I had this experience, and I haven't written any music about this yet, but it's going to. Okay, cool. You could even do that. The third thing that Ed did, which was really smart, was he had, for the first single, he had a physical release. He did singles. He did, vinyl. And he rewarded people by saying, okay, well, I have this song. He didn't talk about the album. He only talked about the song. Like the song was the beginning, the middle, and the end of the conversation. Okay, well, here's a single. You want the single? Okay, great. So you want to look at this and say, okay, maybe you're not Ed Sheeran, but what can you do to reward your fans for being early adopters, people who are into this already? But as Play is being dropped, he is hinting at 2 things coming up. There's a twin album called Rewind. Get it? Play, rewind. Unbelievable. Okay. So we live in an attention economy, and getting people's attention is tough. And if you want to have people's attention for more than a day or a weekend or a week, okay, so here's what's coming. Okay. So Rewind would be best of, maybe? Okay. But the other thing he was also hinting, he's going back on the road in 2026. So now you have 2 things to be thinking about. So you want to be seeding the ground. You want people to hear your stuff. and you want to be creating the future of what's coming, and here's what's coming, and here's what's coming, and here's what's coming. Okay, so let's talk about why waterfall strategies are brilliant. And I say this with love and generosity to human beings as a general rule. But people are limited in their ability to sort of absorb something new, appreciate it at the moment, and kind of get it. So by seeding with 3, 4, or in Ed's case, 5 singles before the album comes in, the album comes and you can say, oh, I know this. Oh, I know this song. Oh, and wait, I know this song too. I know this song. I know this. This breaks your resistance down to listen to the rest of the record. Because you've got music you're already familiar with, maybe you already like, maybe you already really, really like it. Now you'll give the rest of the album a chance. That's why you do this. You are creating an environment where people are slowly getting used to the idea that all this music is going to be part of their thing. One song at a time. It's a great strategy. You want to be thinking of a waterfall release really as a 6-month calendar. So, month 1, big single, big song that's going to set the tone. Month 2, you add a song which has got a hook to it from a press standpoint that tells either something about you, your location, something that's press-worthy. 3, maybe there's a collaboration. Maybe you've got a featured artist on it, and that's going to expand your audience beyond what you already know. Month 4, you've got remixes of the first 3 songs. Maybe you drop an acoustic version. Maybe you've got, I don't know, a demo version even before the record comes out. Yes, I got it. And then maybe here in month 4, you start the pre-save campaign on Apple Music and Amazon. So now you've got 2 months of pre-save before people jump on board. And then month 5, you put out a single with a really featured video. Like something where like people are going to be like, wow, what's that? And again, it's not about money. It's about being clever. What is the idea behind it? People are attracted to ideas. Okay? And then month 6, obviously, is the album release. And you want to like anchor that with another featured track. So it's not necessarily going to be a single necessarily, but it's going to be another track where either radio or press can get. There you go. So that is how a waterfall release works. 6 months trajectory. And I see people all over the place doing this. Rock people doing this, pop people doing this, R&B people doing this, rap people doing this. I have even seen classical people do this. You want to look for yourself about how possibly you are reacting to this idea. And if your reaction is, no way, man, welcome to your barrier to success. Now, I'm not telling you that doing this is going to make you successful. I am telling you that very successful people go back to this strategy over and over and over again. That's all I'm saying. Here's a context that I think is going to help. You want to embrace the release of your album as an event that has multi-parts to it. So in this case, it has 6 parts to it. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6. So you want to look at this and say, okay, I actually don't have one swing of the bat on this new project. I have 6. And if something's not working after step 1 or step 2, make adjustments. Make adjustments. If somebody at radio is not picking up your stuff after part 1, go someplace else. Go find someplace else. So you want to be as rigorous and energetic in pursuing this as you possibly can. I mean, I think Waterfall Releases, as a general thing, are not done well, because what happens is that your small audience gets overwhelmed with, oh my God, here they come again with that stuff. Oh my God, here they come. So there's not enough new in the approaches. Why Ed Sheeran has been so successful with his is that each one of these videos, each one of these songs, each one of these narratives is so completely different. He's sitting down with a blank sheet of paper on this song and this song and this song and this song, and then it all gets fed into this album, and you're like, wow, this is great. Wow, isn't this cool? So I really hope this helps. Waterfall Releases take planning. They take focus and discipline. They take cadence. Because, again, you're poking the algorithms, and you want the algorithms to be working to your advantage. And the connection between, like, if you do release physical singles and you know, when you're going to radio and all of that is going to work together with regard to what is happening on the algorithms. Maybe not so much on Spotify, but the other algorithms, they bring radio and PR and all that into what's going on, because they want to have music featured on their platform that people are talking about. And they also understand that their platform is not necessarily where the music's going to be talked about. It's where it's going to be listened to. So they're listening very keenly out in the world and saying, okay, what are people talking about today? This week, this month, this year. So Ed Sheeran, it's a great case study for Waterfall Releases. Consider it as you're thinking about your next project. I'll see you soon.